Speaking of kind of disgruntled prospects, if you will, there was another similar situation happening in Winnipeg, and Winnipeg goes ahead and makes the trade, sending Rutger McGroarty over to Pittsburgh. Now, McGroarty had been pretty vocal earlier about not wanting to sign with Winnipeg and instead choosing to return to Michigan, but now, guess what? New city, he decides it's ready, it's time to sign. And so, sure enough, the Pittsburgh Penguins have gone on to sign him to a 3-year entry-level contract. This is so interesting to me, Connie, because I feel like we didn't used to see this, and now in this day and age, players are kind of taking it upon themselves to be more in control of their own destiny. What's your read on the situation?
I think you're right. You know, they're getting a little more leverage, whether it's through their general manager, whether it's through their agents, whether it's through them, you know, playing maybe an extra year of college hockey. And, you know, Rutger McGroarty probably could have played in the NHL this year, but he decided to spend another year with the University of Michigan. And I think it was the right decision. You know, he matured a bit. He was always a strong kid. He's got pretty good size. But I think he also looked at the Winnipeg Jets and he thought, gosh, you know, I've got to beat out Nikolai Ehlers on the wing or Cole Perfetti, a number of really Kyle Connor. There's a number of great wingers there. And then maybe you look at the depth chart in Pittsburgh and you think, you know, maybe it could be a little better for me. You know, also the fact you're playing in Winnipeg, which, hey, listen, it gets a bad rap and undeservedly so, because I think Winnipeg is one of the friendliest cities you'd ever want to visit. But it does get cold and there's not a heck of a lot to do besides go to hockey games. So, you know, maybe that factors into a little bit of it too. But he was captain of that World Junior team that did an unbelievable job.
Yeah, won gold.
Yeah, with his past winter. So he's a leader. We know he's strong. I watched him play for a couple of years at the University of Michigan. He's the real deal. And it would be a total shock to me if he wasn't in Pittsburgh's lineup come October.
All right, so Winnipeg's loss, so to speak, they've turned into a gain by way of the trade. Let's hear what GM Kevin Cheveldayoff had to say about it.
You know, again, obviously, we're very excited to add Braden to the organization. I think he's, you know, he's a very, very talented player in a very skilled position. You know, at center, where you know he can certainly make other players better around him. Fortunately for us, you know, we were able to come to agreement, you know, with Pittsburgh here, and we're really excited. As we found out, we were at the draft combines and got a text from. You know, from his agent that wanted to meet. So we sat down and chatted, and he informed us that Rutger had said that he didn't intend to sign. You know, so that's the first, you know, inkling that we got that, you know, there was nothing that was going to come to fruition there. He said that when he got to development camp here, he put the jersey on, became real, and it just didn't feel right at that time. And culminated with you know, with that. So I think that if you look at the you know, the prospects that we have coming, you know, you've got a player like Barlow that plays wing, that you know, that was going to be complemented, you know, exceptionally well by a player like Jagger, you know, at center. So I think it gives us a lot more depth amongst the organization. Braden's you know, a key part of a young team, or a team that you know, went you know, far in the playoffs last year. Obviously, World Junior experience. So we're just excited to have him as you know, in our fold here, and looking forward to seeing him in a couple of weeks.
And we're looking forward to seeing all the Jets in the next few weeks, too, as they start showing up for training camp, et cetera. But when you look, I know we're talking about Rutger McGroarty, but on the flip side, as we heard from Cheveldayoff, what do you see in this Jets team? Do you see them as a playoff team, certainly? Do you see them as a contender for the Central?
Well, they could be, and it really depends on a couple of things. I think it kind of boils down to their goaltending, too. And Connor Hellebuyck, and I know he won the Vezina Trophy this year, but he played 60 games, which is third most among all goalies in the NHL, and it seemed to kind of wear him down in the playoffs. And against the Colorado Avalanche, I think he'd be the first to tell you he was not very good. He basically allowed 25 goals in the 5 games that he played in. So, you know, averaging 5 goals against to a guy who's a Vezina Trophy winner. In fact, he's a Vezina Trophy winner a couple of times over. So I'm not worried about that aspect of their game. You know, it's just, you know, the defenders. are the defenders big enough? Are they mean enough? Are they strong enough? And it just seems like the NHL is trending in that direction.
Yeah.
Teams are going after the big guys. Yeah, and listen, the Quinn Hugheses and the Cale Makar are still very important, but it's the guys who are 6'3" and 6'4" and 6'5" and who make life miserable in front of the net. That seems to be the way teams were going, at least to me, this offseason when it comes to free agents and guys moving to different teams.